welcome to Binging with Badness, the only podcast that is a Jason Statham appreciation podcast, and only a Jason Statham appreciation podcast. My name is Mitchell McIntyre.
And I'm Vanessa Vogel.
And this is Fate of the Furious. F8 of the Furious.
I have to give them props for the title.
It
really.
is the most clever they've been.
Yes.
Since
Too Fast, Too Furious.
Since Too Fast, Too Furious.
Really, because I would name it that. Really,
I
honestly.
would too.
You have to.
It isn't like spelled F8, but like it is, and then it like spells out fate. It's, I don't know,
but good job, guys.
It was slick. I dug it.
Yep.
So this is, as of right now, the last in the mainline series.
Really?
Yes. So I think it's a good kind of point to look back at where we've been.
Look at where we are.
Look at where we started. Remember when we were robbing, like, TVs?
Yeah.
Panasonic products?
Good lord.
This series has moved so wildly away.
I know.
From where it begun.
But I am okay with that.
I love it.
That was fun. I loved that.
I can honestly say I am a fan of this series now.
Yeah, that was great.
I keep wanting to say Final Fantasy. From Fast and Furious.
That's also a shit franchise that got better with time.
From Fast and Furious 5, I think, is where this series really picks up. And like I said, the first 4 had some moments.
Yeah.
But now it's at the point that not only do like I want to see where it goes. If I'm like vaccinated by then, I would see this in the theater. I would pay money.
I have to see them behead the bad guy of this movie. Because
Cypher?
we have to do it.
Yeah.
We have to.
So we'll get into it. This is the point in the series. Like, we've always had, like, by this point, there are some huge fucking names in this movie. Our bad guy is Charlize Theron,
Who we have to murder. Unfortunately.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
And there is a cameo or minor character. She's uncredited. You know who I'm talking about.
I do?
Mrs. Shaw?
Oh, yes.
Who, when I saw her, I knew she was in this movie. And I still went, huh?
She's uncredited?
She's uncredited because it was supposed to be a surprise.
Oh. Well, surprise, motherfuckers.
Yeah, so let's get into the meat and potatoes. The Fate of the Furious is a 2017 American action film directed by F. Gary Gray. As we all know, it's the sequel to Furious 7. And it stars, get ready for this, Vin Diesel, Dwayne Johnson, Jason Statham, Michelle Rodriguez, Tyrese Gibson, Chris Ludacris Bridges, Scott Eastwood, Natalie Emmanuel, Elsa Pataki, Kurt Russell, and Charlize Theron. Oh, God, sorry.
Noticing serious lack of Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot is she died in...
Did she, though?
She died in 6?
Did she, though?
Wow, that's true. I don't think death means much. But we'll see. Actually, that is proven in this movie.
Yeah.
Death means nothing. We'll get to it. But, oh boy.
Hence my, did she, though?
This film is another huge hit. Not as big as Furious 7. But it grossed $1.2 billion worldwide. Making it the 19th movie and the second in the franchise to gross over $1 billion. It was the 3rd highest grossing film of 2017. And the 11th highest grossing film of all time. It, in its first weekend, it grossed $541.9 million worldwide. That was the highest grossing worldwide opening of any movie until Avengers Infinity War came. Damn. I did not realize the scope of this series. You've heard Fast and Furious all the time. It's just like a movie, it's a series that I did, like it's Transformers or something like that. I didn't pay attention to it. These movies are huge.
I know. I mean, look at them.
Yeah, like we have gone from just like a street racing movie that did not need a sequel
Really didn't.
to a gigantic blockbuster summer franchise.
Yep.
There's no other way to say it.
Yep. We've created a beautiful, terrifying, crazy monster.
And I love every second of it.
I know. It was great.
So
I will fight people about this movie. It's great.
I found out a little something on Reddit the other day. Reddit user snorkel_YT came up with the idea that the Fast and the Furious is basically live action anime.
Yes.
So he wondered what these films were called in Japan.
And?
Well, they're not called Fast and the Furious. They're called Wild Speed.
Of course they are.
I'm gonna list up these names are amazing.
Okay.
The Fast and the Furious is Wild Speed.
Cool.
Too Fast, Too Furious is Wild Speed X2.
Sure.
Tokyo Drift is Wild Speed X3 Tokyo Drift. Fast and Furious is Wild Speed Max. Fast 5 is Wild Speed Mega Max. Fast and Furious 6 is Wild Speed Euro Mission. Furious 7 is Wild Speed Sky Mission. And this is the most literal of them all. The Fate of the Furious is Wild Speed Ice Break. And probably the best one, maybe, is Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw, which is Wild Speed Super Combo.
It's not called that, is it?
I swear, as God is my witness.
Let me see that. Let me...
This is, if I'm getting wrong information, then,
Oh my god, it says super combo.
yeah, if I'm getting wrong information, blame the guy on Reddit. I'm taking this with a grain of salt, but I want to believe this so
I
hard.
have to Google this. What is happening right
Wild Speed Super Combo is just amazing, and I will not call it anything else. So what we are watching is Wild Speed Ice Break.
Oh my god, if you Google Wild Speed Super Combo, Hobbs and Shaw comes up.
There you go.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
That's legit. We will, like I said, Wild Speed Ice Break is the most on the nose. We'll see. We might need to take a break. You okay?
Super Combo.
Have some water.
Oh, Japan, I love you.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. I've never been better. Ooh, it's cold. Oh, I'm overheating. I'm sweating. What's happening right now? Ooh.
Is there an ad break questionnaire we can go to?
Okay, I'm good. I'm
Okay.
good. I'm good.
This you can't be allowed. This is a very serious movie we're talking about. Wild Speed Ice Break. You good?
Yeah.
Do you need your puffer?
Just go. Just go.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh,
So with that bombshell, let's get into the movie proper. You good?
I'm fine. Just go. Just go.
Curtain up. We open on a familiar sight of cars driving down pretty roads. We are in Havana. Oh, nah. And this opening reminds me a lot of Tokyo Drift. As much as I loved Seven's opening, I didn't so much like this one. It was slow-mo over pretty cars and women in short shorts and...
Yeah, there was a lot of booty.
It's just, we're doing this again, eh? We're at what seems to be like a classic car show.
Which is different.
They're a thing.
I understand, but they're racers.
Yeah.
Right? If there's cars, they're racing them.
Oh, well, let's get to that. Dom and Letty are kind of looking over everything, and somebody runs up to Dom and says that his cousin is in trouble. Mm-hmm. To which I responded, Dom has a cousin?
Dom has family that we don't talk to?
Dom has... Well, yeah, that's the other thing. We know Dom has a cousin thanks to Fast and Furious Spy Racers, only on Netflix. But this is not him.
This is a different cousin.
This is a different cousin from Havana, which is kind of funny to me because you'd think he'd be related to Letty.
Maybe he is, and he's just like an honorary cousin.
Maybe, but wouldn't they go to Letty, your cousin's in trouble?
No, because this is a male-dominated movie, and I have a lot of thoughts about that.
Yeah. So, anyway, Dom goes to check out what's going on. Apparently, this kid took out some money to buy a car.
A real shit car.
A POS car, and he can't pay it back, so now the guy wants the car. Makes sense. And Dom is like, well, first of all, it's not the car that matters, it's the driver. And he's like, that's not what I'm asking you. And so he's like, how about this? You know, back where I'm from, we don't just take cars, we earn them in a race.
Or you buy them from a dealership.
Or, you know, several other ways. And so the guy's like, all right, fine. We'll race for pink slips. But if you think it's not the car, it's the driver, then why don't you drive his shitty car, not your nice Challenger up there? To which Dom is like, all right, bet, let's do it. So Dom's cousin is like, are you nuts? My car sucks. And he's like, not anymore, watch this. And he rips everything out. He rips, like, the sides, the doors, the back seat, basically everything but the seat wheel and the engine.
True.
Making it super light.
Well, as light as can be.
Yeah.
Again, it's a piece of shit.
Yeah. And so Letty brings in nitrous oxide. They hook it up to the car. And Letty's like, okay, this is going to work, but it's also going to turn it into a bomb. Mm-hmm. This will explode while you drive. And Dom's like, that's okay. I only needed to go a mile. Which reminds me of that scene from Family Guy where they're talking about Rocky. It's like, you can't fight the Martian, Rocky. There's no air in space. He goes, yeah, well, that means there's no air for him either. So the race starts like a race. You've seen it a million times. You've heard it a million ways. We race for a while, but Dom's got a piece of shit car, and the other guy doesn't. But Dom still kind of keeps up with him a little bit. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So they do the thing. At one point, the bad guy is like, let's kill him. Mm-hmm. So they throw guys with motorcycles at him. At one point, literally chucking a motorcycle at Dom.
Well, at a certain point, those motorcycles were acting as refs, right? They were keeping traffic at bay, you know?
True.
And then they were just like, well, I guess we're not doing that anymore.
Yeah, so they just chuck a motorcycle at Dom. He's cool with it because he's Dom.
Plows straight through it because he doesn't know any other method of doing anything.
Yeah, Dom hits the nitrous oxide button. It's not really a button, it's more of a valve.
Yeah.
He hits that, and he goes fast, and then, true to form, the car blows up. It catches fire.
Yep. Like, he can't see. Like, there's too much fire.
Yeah, and so now Dom is racing a flaming car.
Yeah. It got cool, guys.
Yeah, start as you mean to go on, Fate and Furious. So he's on fire. He's driving. Like you said, he can't see. So he turns around and races the rest of the race backwards.
Yep.
And then looks out the way. Somehow...
He tapped into the time-space continuum.
Yeah.
With the nitrous oxide.
He won, is what we're trying to get at.
Yeah, and it was very cool. And he was driving a flaming car that went into the fucking bay. Because he couldn't stop the damn thing.
Yeah. Have you guys seen Good Omens? Or read it? Was it in the book, The Flaming Car?
Yes.
Okay. So at one point in the novel, or in the show anyway, Crowley is driving a flaming car because he can just do that being a demon. And
I mean, it was his car. And as it works out, thanks to plot, it was on fire.
It was on fire. So at one point the narration goes, like, he's talking from the point of view of a man watching this happen.
Yeah, because he was asking for directions.
Yeah, and he's like, should I tell him? But he must know.
And the reason why you don't say anything is because he must know.
And that's all I could think of while watching this. So Dom, he wins the race, but he can't stop. So he drives it off a pier, dives out of the car. It launches up, gotta be 30 feet in the air, and then into the water. And then as he stands up, children cheer.
Like, he almost murdered a bunch of people.
Yeah. But literally, he stands up and little kids surround him like, yay!
What's Havana like, guys?
I don't...
Is it constantly flaming cars? Or...
Is that what is... I have written here, what is this movie?
What's happening here? What's going on, guys?
Having destroyed his cousin's car, Dom flips him the keys of the Impala. And he's like, because when you're a multimillionaire, cars mean nothing.
I'm about to say, oh, right, millionaire.
Yeah. And so the guy goes, you beat me fair and square. Here's my car. And Dom goes, keep your car. Your respect is enough. And they're like, yay!
Men.
I thought this was stupid until it came back.
Yeah, right? I didn't think this was going to be important.
I did not either. I thought it was just a waste of 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Kind of like the beginning of Wonder Woman 84, where we're just in the Olympics for some reason.
It's supposed to teach her a lesson about...
I know what it was for, but it was bad.
It was real bad. Wonder Woman 19... I have so many... I loved Wonder Woman... That's a different podcast.
Yes. Oh, boy. We'll get to that. Oh, God. We'll get to that, won't we?
No, there's only 2 of them, so it's not a series.
DCEU.
Oh, we're not doing the DC.
No, thank you.
Because I'm going to go on a tear about women in media, and you do not want to hear that speech. You will hear previews of it when Redacted happens, but you do not want to hear that speech.
Is it redacted in this movie?
Yeah.
Is it what I think it is?
Yes.
Oh, really? Okay. That's, you know what? Now that you say that, that's a good point. Anyway, Dom and Letty go back to their hotel room. They're on their honeymoon. And have that really lusty, fully clothed, under the covers sex. Like they've been married for 15 years. And then Letty kills the mood dead by going, what would you think he'd be like as a father? Woof.
Well, according to a screen that I read later on in the movie, they're like 40. Time to settle down, guys.
Well, they've been kind of married for a long time. So...
I mean, didn't this series start when Dom was in his 20s?
That probably. It's been a long time.
So they've been together for decades, kind of. And time to settle down.
Yeah. So the next day, Dom is just walking back to his hotel. He's got like a bag of groceries with a single rose because he's a romantic. And then some person they want us to believe is a random blonde lady, but is played by Charlize Theron. So you're like, she's going to be important.
She's wearing dreads, so it makes her a douchebag?
I thought that they're not quite dreads. They're braids, but her hair is like...
They're twists or whatever.
Yeah.
And they look like dreads, but they're not dreads. They're like really tight.
They're riding a line.
They're riding a very line, but she's supposed to be a douchebag anyway, so, you know.
So
It's a good call from, like, costume and design.
Charlize Theron, who immediately just like, you're important. And to the movie's credit, they don't fuck around.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, my car is broken. And Dom is like, I'm a big, strong man. I can help. Your car is broken. He says something goes out, and she's like, yeah, I know that. Dominic Toretto. And he's like, guess the fuck?
Yeah. He, like, notices that an entire part's missing.
Yeah.
And she's like, I know. I have it right here.
And she's like, hey, long story short, I own you now. I am an international cyber terrorist.
Here is your cell phone.
Yeah, I have something for you to see. You're going to look at it. And then you're going to work for me and betray all of your friends. To which Dom is like, I doubt it. And then she's like, look at your phone. And he's like, okay, what do you want?
This is like the second time this has happened. Hobbs pulled this exact same bullshit.
Yeah, it's literally that, but it's on the opposite.
So, like, at this point, like, in the next movie, when this happens for a third time, is Dom just gonna be like, stop blackmailing me and being so fucking cryptic and just tell me what you want?
Yeah. So, Charlize Theron, I'm gonna call her Charlize Theron until we get a name. She is like, hey, not only do I know you, I know we're going exactly at what point. I've been following you for a long, long time. You can't get away from me. So you might as well go here's the picture on your phone. Spooky, scary. work for me. And so she's like, okay. Then we cut to Luke Hobbs giving a psych-up speech. Mm-hmm. And he's like, you guys are going to go out there. You've got to be a team. You got to go in with military precision. Mm-hmm. We're going to go in there, take them all out one by one. All right, you got this. Hoorah! And then we go back out, and it's his daughter's soccer game. And he's coaching.
Which is adorable.
Yeah, which is, I will say, The Rock is still written like an asshole.
Yeah.
But less so?
Like an endearing asshole.
Yeah. Less so, and I don't know. I liked him a little bit more now. He takes his team out to start the game, and they start with a Samoan haka.
Yeah, okay, so we saw this in real life once on our honeymoon.
Yeah.
And let me tell you guys, it's not just a dance. This dance is designed to scare the crap out of you.
So this is actually based on a real thing. Obviously, the Samoan haka, but the Maori
are not to be trifled with.
Well, this is Samoa, but the Maori, like, rugby team or AFL team, something like that.
Okay.
Would start the match with a haka. Mm-hmm. And at one point it scared the other team so bad they forfeit.
I mean, a little girl did forfeit. She's like, I'm not playing this
I don't want to play anymore.
That's what the dance is designed to do.
Yeah. When we saw it, it was one guy, right?
Yeah.
Or it was one or two guys.
No, it was just, well, I think there was two guys because one guy was on one half of the room.
But he was very close to us.
Yeah, he was like right in front of our table. Like literally, if I reached out, I could touch his abs.
Yeah.
Like,
and he did this Samoan haka, and scared the fuck out of me.
Yeah. It is shouting. It is mean. It is loud. It is stompy. It is all the things you would do to scare off a bear.
It was one of those things.
A bear, guys.
I knew it was a show, and there was a part of me that was just like, this motherfucker's crazy.
This man might murder us on this boat.
And he's a professional dancer.
Yes. And then the lady comes out and does her part, and it's literally, she just does like the hula. Like,
yeah.
What a fucking bait and switch there, Samoa.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. Anyway, some random guy comes up and he's like, hey, we got bad news. Mm-hmm. Bad guys are trying to steal an EMP. And Hobbs is like, can you not see I'm with my daughter? I'm doing a thing. Mm-hmm. And he's like, yeah, but a fate of the world. He goes, up. Daughter. Mm-hmm. And he's like, again, you got it fucking... Hello?
You will go to prison or something.
Yeah, so he says, if this doesn't work out, not only will you be, not blacklisted, burnt. Mm-hmm. Well, not only will you get a burn notice, you will be sent to jail.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Because they're going to pin the whole thing on him.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
If it fails, they're going to pin all the collateral damage on him.
So, again, the Rock's daughter, or Hobbs' daughter...
Who might be the Rock's daughter. Fuck if I don't know.
Looks up to him, and she's like, oh, Daddy's got to go to work. And he's like, yeah, Daddy's got to go to work. They're setting up this thing that, like, he works too much, and, like, he doesn't see his daughter much. But we don't see his daughter enough for this to be, like, a storyline that we care about.
I mean, we kind of seen it in the last movie.
Yeah, but he was barely in the last movie.
That's true. And honestly, he spent pretty much the entire movie with his daughter.
Yeah, so, like, they're trying to set this up as, like, he works too much for the free world, but it doesn't really work.
Yeah, like, you have to imply some stuff here.
And, like, you get it, but Anyway, they're just like, hey, you need a team you can trust. Mm-hmm. No cookie for figuring out who he is. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Dom agrees to the mission, and he's like, I'll line up the team. And then he stares at his, like, cross necklace for a little bit. Mm-hmm. That has bounced between everybody at this point. Mm-hmm. And then we cut to the end of the mission. We jump all
Yeah,
over
you guys don't need to know what happens in Berlin. What you need to know is what happens next.
Yeah. So Dom and Co drive out of an exploding building.
You should know that they have the EMP.
They have the EMP. They have successfully gotten the EMP. Hobbs has the EMP.
Yes.
And Dom and Co are just driving away, and they're like, all right, we're going to get it. Let's go. Woo!
We just got to get to the drop point. We'll be good, or whatever.
Yeah. 10 cars are coming to chase him, and they're just like, we got to shake him. What do we do? And Ted's just like, I got this. Watch. He hits a button, and a wrecking ball comes in.
Love it.
And swings down and takes out like 10 cars. And Roman is like, that was great, but you missed some. Because he doesn't realize how physics work.
Yeah, Roman's not bright. He's charismatic, not bright.
Yeah. And I believe Hobbs goes, wait for it. And then it comes swinging back the other way and knocks the rest of the cars off.
It has a smiley face on it. It is great, guys.
It's got a smiley face on it because Tej is an asshole.
I know. I love him.
Yeah, he's great. So they drive away and they're like, we did it, boys. Let's roll out. And then Dom drives up to Letty. And Letty goes, are you good? Because Dom looks strange. And Dom says, I'll see you when it's done. I don't know how they're communicating with one another.
I think there's a radio in their car.
It was never established because for the first 7 movies they use walkie-talkies.
That's true.
But now they're literally just talking.
Look, Tej is a wizard.
Yeah.
So I assume there's radios in the car.
I assumed that too, but so Dom goes, I'll see you when it's done. And then Hobbs and Dom drive off in one direction. Everybody else drives off in the other direction. And Hobbs is like, good work, brother. I'll buy the beers when we get back home. And Dom's like, fuck. And he knocks Hobbs off the road.
Yep. Flips the car.
Flips the car huge. Hobbs is like crushed underneath the twisted wreckage. He's okay because he's the Rock and nothing kills him but the Rock.
He is pinned under that car.
Yeah, he is pinned on under the car. And like he walks out, Dom does, and unhooks the EMP. And Hobbs is like, what are you doing? Are you nuts? If you do this, you're going to have every sumbitch coming down on you. Because it's not too late to turn around. Just stop it now and we're good. And then he takes it and he goes, now it's too late. So Dom takes the EMP, hooks it up to his car and drives away. And Hobbs calls in the team, incredulous, to announce to the team that Dominic Toretto has gone rogue.
Dun dun dun.
Meanwhile, on a much shorter airstrip than the one in Fast and Furious 6, a giant cargo plane touches down. Dom drives his car into it and lifts him up, and away we go.
It doesn't make much sense because it shows the speedometer is going 200 miles an hour, and then he just stops on a dime. Like,
yeah,
what is... All right, sure. You know? He caught up with the plane, and then he drove onto it. Whatever.
So... What the fuck? Dom's a bad guy now.
Yep. Cue the music. Bad guy by...
Yeah. Bad Guy by Billie Eilish. So they get kind of back to their home base. And they kind of talk. They're just like, there's got to be something we're missing. There's no reason Dom just does this. We're family, and he will never shut up about family.
And family means no one gets left behind. Cue Lilo and Stitch.
Ohana.
Yeah.
And Ramsey is the one who's just like, hey, I don't know him as well as you guys, but all the evidence is kind of stacking up to he fucked us.
Yeah.
So what do you got? And Letty won't hear that at all.
Yeah.
Like she is, no, sir.
She is Mrs. Male Alpha, so, you know.
She is. And she has the most to do here out of any of the movies she's been in.
Factually correct.
And I think she does it very, very well.
Which is weird from Michelle Rodriguez.
Yeah. So, meanwhile, Hobbs is going to prison for some reason.
Like I said, they pinned the whole deal on him.
Yeah.
He didn't deliver the EMP, so he goes to prison.
Yeah, he shows up to prison. Mr. Nobody shows up. Remember him, Kurt Russell? He shows up with a guy who is a cross between Jensen Ackles and Adam Scott.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Like a mini Jensen Ackles.
Yeah, played by Scott Eastwood, Clint Eastwood's son.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, now that you say that, I can kind of see it.
Yeah, Mr. Nobody, and as he will be soon named, Little Nobody. So Mr. Nobody shows up, and he's like, hey, so good news, bad news. Good news, we got you off. You don't have to go to prison. All you have to do is admit to all your crimes. You'll lose your job, and you'll be branded as a criminal, but you won't have to go to jail.
So that's great. I mean, I'll fix it eventually. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, so The Rock, or Hobbs...
Just call him The Rock.
I'm really trying not to. Hobbs is like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not a criminal. I did nothing wrong. I'm not a criminal. I did nothing wrong. I will not be branded as a criminal. I will find my own way out. And Little Nobody is like, okay, that's all well and good for you. You won't do this for your country. But what about your daughter?
And then Mr. Nobody sighs the deepest sigh in the universe. And he's like, you fucking moron.
Then The Rock picks him up, goes fully sideways, and pins him against the wall.
Yeah, he breaks those chains, like those standard handcuffs.
Yeah.
Like they're fucking candy.
So I have to ask if what do you guys think? Does Luke Hobbs canonically have superhuman strength?
Yes.
He must at this point.
At this point, yes.
Like, there was the cracking the cast in the last movie, but this movie it's bullshit. Like, he does this a lot.
Yeah.
So
at this point, Hobbs is just the strongest man on Earth. That's just true.
Yeah.
It has to be
he
true.
has to have canonical superhuman strength. I
Yes.
believe that. And actually, as we'll find out in Hobbs and Shaw, nanomachines and shit make sense. So why not?
Yeah, why not?
Remember that? We'll get to that next week. So anyway, in prison, nobody's happy to see Luke Hobbs because he was a police officer.
Yeah.
And wouldn't you know it, he is in the exact same prison as one Deckard Shaw.
He's like right across the hall.
Not only is he in the same prison, he's in the cell right across the way.
Which is weird, because weren't there like 15 machine guns last time we saw Shaw?
There was a whole thing.
There
He
was a
went to like
whole-
the Joker level prison.
So I guess there was budget cuts and he got moved to Gen Pop.
Yeah, that's just so we could have this. These guys kind of fight at each other. They argue for like much of the movie.
He bench presses a desk.
It's kind of funny, then it's kind of annoying, then it's kind of funny again, then it's kind of annoying. Mm-hmm. It goes back and forth.
Yep.
So Dom heads back to the bad guy headquarters of Charlize Theron, who plays Cypher. And they're getting ready to go on the next big bad mission. So they have this little talk. They have a lot of these little talks. Mm-hmm. And this movie has a lot of exposition.
Yeah.
Not only for the bad guys, but for the good guys as well. There's a lot of scenes where we just sit down and explain stuff.
Well, we have to.
We have to.
This entire plot to make sense.
This is probably the most complicated plot we've had.
Yeah.
Like the densest.
It's no longer race cars do thing. It's race cars save world.
Yeah. So Cypher is like, hey, this Robin Hood shit you're doing, that's not you. Like, you did this whole thing where you raced a guy who threw a motorcycle at you. Mm-hmm. And then you gave him his car back? Like, what's wrong with you? What changed? And he's like, I gave him his car back because I didn't want to steal something from him. And in that, I changed him. And Cypher says, that's not your job. Like, that's not your responsibility to change people. You just let them do their thing.
Which is big talk from her later on in the movie.
Yeah. Then she says, what's the most important thing to you? And he goes, family. And she goes, no, it's not. I've seen it. The most important thing to you is 10 seconds before you finish a race. Your mind is completely wiped. Like, your mind is completely blank. You're not thinking about anything, let alone family. That's the most important thing to you. You chase this, like, adrenaline rush. That's why you keep doing these things. You're not, like, some good guy. You're just chasing the high. This, like, superhero thing isn't for you. Mm-hmm. Now, Charlize Theron is an amazing actress.
Yes, this is true.
She's good in almost everything I've seen her in. Except for this.
Yeah.
All of her lines are whispered and said very sensually to Dominic almost the entire time.
I swear to God, I thought it was my TV.
Everything she says sounds like this.
The sound mixing in this movie is a little weird.
Yeah, it's not great. And it's really bad.
Yeah.
Surprisingly so. And so this doesn't strike me as an actress problem. This strikes me as a director problem.
Yeah. Somewhere this director said, make it more sexy. And she was like, are you serious?
Yeah. I will say, I think Cypher is the least interesting villain we've had.
Yeah.
Because she has the least to do. Cypher does pretty much everything behind a computer screen. She's a hacker. She's a cyber terrorist. So she doesn't really get, like, much to do. But anyway, back in prison. This entire setup is for Jason Statham and The Rock to fuck with each other.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
At one point, The Rock is just punching a wall. Just lefts and rights to a wall. And Jason Statham's like, fuck are you doing? Because you know what? Like, all those muscles are just for show. And they're just like, fight me. And he goes, fight me back. He goes, I don't remember you being all big and bad when I kicked your ass in your own office. And he goes, yeah, well, I don't need bombs to do my job. And he goes, you need your job is jumping out of a 4-story window. And he goes, I was kicking you out of a 4-story window. And he goes, I jumped out of the 4-story window to save my partner. Shit like that.
Impotent white rage.
Yeah. And so he's like, yeah, you want to fight? Step over the line. If these doors weren't open, I'd beat the fuck out of you. And then the doors open. The Rock's door opens and he's just like, and he looks at the camera and he's like, I told you, nobody. I don't want to win like this. I will get out myself. I'm not doing this.
Close the damn door.
Close the door. And then all the doors open.
Well, okay, no, security comes and it was just like, get back, The Rock,
Yeah.
get back. And then Jason Statham.
Get back, you don't know me like that. Beep, beep, whoop, whoop, I ain't playing around. That's ludicrous, sorry.
Got it. And so Jason Statham's like, hey, fancy baton you got there. And he, like, jams it into the security system in, like, his door to open it. But I guess that fries all the doors?
I was under the impression Mr. Nobody opened all the doors to start chaos.
I was under the impression that Jason Statham, like, the electrical circuit in his door somehow was the master circuit in all the doors. Point is, nobody did predict that the doors would open.
Yeah. Point is, all of the doors open.
Riot.
And away we go. We go from like a one-on-one contest to a good old-fashioned prison riot. Away Jason Statham goes into the fray, beating people up for no reason. At one point, The Rock clotheslines somebody, and the guy does a Rikishi flip bump.
Yep.
Hobbs gets shot in the neck with a rubber bullet.
Yeah.
And no-sells it.
Yeah, several times, actually.
His neck is so big that he gets pinged, and he goes, really? Rubber bullets? Really? The
thing he does immediately after, where he takes the gun, and then he, like, twists his arm and shoots the gun.
And shoots two people behind him, yeah.
I don't know when I'm using that in D&D, but I am. Like, that's some Ruby shit. I love that.
Oh, yeah. He picks up a man and throws him at another man.
Beating a motherfucker with another motherfucker is my favorite move.
Yeah. Like I said, canonical super strength. At one point, Jason Statham hits a shotgun dropkick.
Yeah.
Just into a guy like Finn Balor.
Yep.
What I think is happening is Jason Statham is trying to escape, and The Rock is trying to catch him.
I think so.
But none of that works.
Yeah.
So...
There's a guy who's just like, I've waited a long time to stab you in the neck. And he's like, well, you're going to keep waiting.
See ya.
And he, like, stabs him back. Like,
yeah. So Jason Statham, like, he gets out of the way and he's like, I'm free. And then The Rock just comes in and spears him like his cousin Roman. Just boom! Down he goes, and they slide out of a garage door. And they just kind of, like, sit there and just like, and immediately 1,000 guns are on them.
and then they do, like, the fighter pose that you see before every UFC fight, where they put their mitts up.
Ding, ding.
And then, you know, here's Mr. Nobody.
Mr. Nobody shows up and he's like, hey, can we talk now?
That took slightly longer than expected.
Yeah. So, they go to the secret hidden underground base, hitherto referred to as Nowhere. This is getting annoying. So Hobbs' first question is, hey, where's my daughter? Mm-hmm. And she's fine. She's living with your sister. Okay, cool. Second off, where's Toretto? Mm-hmm. Which he's like, that's funny. You'd ask for him next.
So funny story about that.
Yeah. So he comes into the room, and who is sitting there but Team Furious, as I like to call them.
Yes. Good name.
Team Furious, they're all handcuffed. Mm-hmm. And Mr. Nobody walks in and goes, why are they all handcuffed? And little Nobody, it was like, you told me to round them all up. It's like, yeah, I wanted you to all bring them into the room. You don't have to hog tie them.
Letty picks these electronic handcuffs with a paper clip.
Yeah.
Because government technology, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he goes around and is just like, but the book! And he's just like, God help me on with this one.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So they're like, why are we here? What's going on? And they're just like, well, good news, bad news. Bad news is you are all on the top 10 most wanted list because you botched a job in in Berlin. Congratulations, you're all wanted criminals again. Son of a bitch.
Except you.
Except for Roman, who was not in the top 10.
He is number 11.
He's mad at that the whole movie. And actually kind of gets a point at the end. We'll get to it.
Yeah.
But he gets a little bit of revenge on that one.
Yeah.
So we get the lowdown on Cypher. She is basically the computer John Wick. She is so good at this that her digital trace is erased every couple of seconds. It's impossible to find her. We also find out that she's working with Dom, but we don't know why. Mm-hmm. So their job isn't to find Cypher, but to find Dom, and through Dom get to Cypher.
Yes.
Because it's easier to find him than it is to find her.
Dom, for once, is the damsel in distress.
Yeah.
Sort of.
So this is a fairly complicated job, and we're missing a bald guy. Mm-hmm. So we need some extra help. Enter Deckard Shaw. Hobbs ain't happy.
No.
Deckard Shaw ain't happy. And he's like, we're going to work together, but I'm not a part of your team. It's a strange bedfellows thing. You know how this goes.
The team's not thrilled because they're like, he murdered Han,
It's
right?
because they get over him killing Han very quickly.
I know. Guys, he murdered Han.
Yeah. And they're just like, well, we killed your brother, so... Or so we thought. We'll get to that.
Okay, I have so many thoughts about that.
Owen Shaw is alive and in jail.
Let's recap on Owen Shaw real quick. He went through a flaming plane at like a zillion miles an hour on the world's longest airstrip.
Yes.
And from the world's biggest plane.
Yes.
And all Gal Gadot did was fall off the damn thing. No, she is alive out there.
I'll bet.
She is with Han. They have 4 kids. They are fine.
Yeah. So Owen is apparently alive. And here's the thing. Why would Deckard Shaw do this? Mm-hmm. Because Deckard Shaw was given the job by Cypher to take care of the Nightshade missile from Fast 6. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. The job that Owen did that got him fucked up and in jail. So he kind of feels bad for turning down that job, and then Owen took it, and now he's got that to deal with. Mm-hmm.
She was the big bag all along.
That's basically where we're going, is not only was she behind... like, this job, the Nightshade missile, she worked with Jakande.
Yeah.
She's been essentially the overseeing bad guy for 3 straight movies now. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So Roman is like, hey, we're looking for Dom. We spent all of last film trying to track down this thing that can track people down, the God's Eye. Mm-hmm. Why didn't you just use that? And Mr. Nobody's like, great idea. Didn't fucking think of that. Let's try it. Why don't we? And so they spread it out and just like, we got him. Dominic Toretto's in London and Hong Kong and Beijing and Hanoi and Seoul and Tokyo. Guys, I don't think this works.
And every major city in the world.
Yeah. So basically they kind of fucked with it, and now the God's Eye is just useless to them. Yeah.
And then, what was it? Our 2 tech wizards do some sort of tech wizard thing.
We do some straight up Star Trek level technobabble.
Yeah.
And which boils down to, we follow the traces. Yeah. They have to use like a reflector thing. Yeah. And if we follow that, we'll find out where the signal originated. That's probably where Dom is. Yeah. So they do. They go bing, 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 and all the bad places go away. And they're like, okay, we found him. This is the only place that's not gone away. And Mr. Nobody goes, that's funny. And he goes, why? Because that's here. And then they explode. Yep. This happens a lot in this series.
I wonder if that said that in the script. And then they explode.
Yeah. Shit blows up. In comes a whole bunch of concussion grenades. And then they get like thrown off of smaller grenades, like shrapnel. Yeah. And then it knocks everybody down and out.
The Rock actually catches one and chucks it.
Yeah, because he's a badass.
But everyone is just fucked.
Yeah. Including the Rock. Rock gets messed up too. Yeah. So in walks Dominic and Cypher. Dominic sees that they've already replaced him with a better bald guy. And he's so upset that he shoots out some glass for some reason.
Yeah, well, that bald guy killed Han.
Yeah, that's true.
Again, that bald guy killed Han.
But, like, he just starts shooting out glass panes.
Yeah.
No reason. This series hates glass.
Sirius does hate glass.
But he sees Letty and refuses to shoot her.
Because it's Letty.
Because it's Letty. Cypher steals the God's Eye, because it was embedded in the mainframe, and she's like, that's a great idea, and it's a pain in the ass you made me come all the way here.
What a bitch.
And she walks out like it ain't nothing. Letty calls out for Dom. And she's like, are you going to turn your back on family? And Dom is just like, sad Dom noises. Mm-hmm. And Cypher goes, oh yeah? And then like full on makes out with Dominic Toretto, who does not push away even a little bit. Like, they kiss for a long time.
It's only like 2 seconds.
It's long enough. It's long enough to kiss, break apart for air, then come back.
Yeah. How did Letty did not find super strength in her soul to get up and punch a hoe?
Yeah.
I don't know.
At no point does Dom give any sort of hint whatsoever that he's being coerced. No hand signals, no blinking Morse code, nothing. Your team is smart. They'll figure it out.
That's true. Tej is literally a tech wizard.
Yeah.
We have 2 tech wizards now.
Yeah, him and Ramsey. Yeah. So they're confused. They have no idea where to go. So Roman suggests bringing in Brian, because Brian would know what to do. He's former FBI. He's good at this kind of stuff. But Letty says that they agreed to not bring Brian and Mia into any more of these missions, and she intends to stick to that. Which is why Brian and Mia are no longer here.
Yeah. Also, there's a slight logistical problem.
A little bit. Meanwhile, at Bad Guy HQ, Dom asks if she's like, what was that about? Was that for you? Was that for her? Was that for me? Was that for us? What was that about? Because nobody can resist, apparently, the sexual attraction that is Dominic Toretto. And she basically says what I said. It's like, hey, you didn't push away or nothing. Deep down, you must have wanted it. And he's like, no, I didn't have a choice. We get a lot of screaming Vin Diesel in this movie. This is the most Vin Diesel has had to act.
True. Since that time he was Sherlock/Batman.
Yeah, like, he even then, like, that was all just, like, mumbly Dominic noises.
That's true.
This is, like, he's got to emote some emotion. It's done not great. It's moderately not great.
It's not Vin Diesel's strong suit.
But he's trying, and I appreciate it.
And I still give him full credit. Like, you know what? Mm-hmm. It gets the job done.
Yeah. So, Cypher's like, hey, you're looking a little antsy. Shall I remind you why you agreed to do this? So we get walked over to a cell where the lights come on, and inside of it is Elena.
What up, girl?
Elena, formerly Hobbs' partner, and formerly love interest of Dom when we thought Letty was dead.
I don't think formally. I think she's still technically Interpol or whatever she is. No, wait, he gave her a letter of recommendation. She transferred.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she goes in and she's like, Dom, oh my God, that you shouldn't have said yes. You shouldn't have done this. We had another way out. And she says, now they have all 3 of us. And Dom is like, well, blah, blah. And she goes, do you want to see him? To which Dom nods. And Elena pulls out a whole ass baby.
Yeah, like, this is not a newborn. This is 6 months to a year-old child.
So here's the deal. When Dom and Elena were together, Elena got pregnant and didn't tell Dom because they had just found out Letty was alive. And that overcomplicates things.
Which explains kind of why Elena elected to stay behind with Mia.
It completely makes sense now. So, if in case you're wondering, yes, this is Dominic Toretto's son.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they have not only Elena, but Dom's son. That's why he turned against it. He had no idea he even existed.
Like, Elena said, like, as soon as you got back from your honeymoon, I was going to tell you, but, one thing led to another. There was a whole movie about it.
Look, dude, you've been super busy for, 2 years.
And, you had a thing with Letty in her memory, and, I wanted to give you time to sort that out.
Yeah.
Before dealing with this. And, to Elena's credit, she's right.
Yeah. That's, it kind of makes sense.
He chose Letty over her, and she was like, you know what, I'm a peace out.
I guess that makes sense. So she says, basically has Dom promise her that no matter what, he will save their son. And of course Dom will do it. Family.
And it's a baby.
So Cypher comes up and he's like, hey, I noticed that you're all like mad and junk. Now you're thinking there's only 2 of us here. And he's got a gun. So if I kill him first, I can take the gun. And here, I'll make it easy for you. And so he, like, takes the gun away from the bad guy. Connor is his name. He's a hitman. And gives it to Dom. She's like, there. Now you got one. It's super easy. You can just shoot me.
Presses the... What's that thing called? The barrel right against her forehead.
Yeah. And so she's like, but know that all these cameras are watching us. And if you pull that trigger, tons of guys with guns will come here. And their job isn't to save me, but it's to kill your son. So that's what, basically, there's that. And then Dom goes, it doesn't even matter. I could kill you. I could kill everybody who comes in this room, but I can't open this door because it's a 2-man failsafe system, and I'm alone! Because this is the first time Dom has ever been alone.
That's true. I mean, if he could jailbreak Elena, he'd be able
He'd have done it by now.
He could pull this off and save them both, but he can't jailbreak Elena. She's behind like 3 inches of bulletproof. There's like 4 Oreos between him and Elena.
Yeah. So that, he's just like, I can't do it. And Cypher's like, yeah, bitch. Take it.
It's just like, you've made a choice. It's the whole thing with her about choices and stuff.
She talks about how this is fate and like you made these choices. These are the choices you made. It's not as bad as I'm making it, but it's still pretty bad. So through a bunch of technobabble, Team Furious has figured out that Dom is headed towards New York City because we've been to Europe, we've been all over the West Coast, we've been to Rio. Now let's go fuck up the Big Apple.
Yeah, why not? That's a highly populated city we haven't driven in yet.
Yeah, we don't spend enough time here. I feel like this could have been a cooler set piece, and we have some moments, but then we go to Russia and it's not great.
That's less great. Is this true?
So they have to stay off.
Russia was supposed to be New York City, but for some reason we went to Russia.
I don't know. It gave me a Die Another Day vibes.
Did it?
The racing on the ice. It's a whole thing. So they need to stay off the grid, and I guess in order to do that, that means traveling in the back of a fish truck.
I mean, the way Ramsey's God Eye works is if you appear anywhere near a camera, it'll snap a picture of you.
Even reflections.
Yeah, like, her program is so good.
Yeah.
It will snag anything. So dark, alone, with nothing but dead fish works.
Yeah. But that's where the lo-fi shit stops. Because they open up a big door in this, like, fish guttery. And they find the agency garage. They call it the gift shop. Literally every car that's ever been taken in on the East Coast is here. Mm-hmm. That includes tanks, racing cars, Lambos, anything seized on the East Coast. There is a $1 million show car that Roman wants to drive. It's an orange Lamborghini.
Is it? No,
yeah.
I thought he got I thought that he gets the Bentley first. No, he takes the Bentley out first.
Yeah, he gets the Bentley out first, but then he takes
the Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Got it.
So
from Black Santa.
Yeah, right.
Or Blanta, as he called him.
Yeah, and so he's like, "Hey, I want that one. I want to drive that one." Mm-hmm. And little nobody's like, "That totally defeats the purpose. We're trying to remain undetected." Mm-hmm. And Roman goes, "That's exactly what we're doing. Reverse psychology. He'll never expect it. He'll never see it coming." And he goes, "The International Space Station will see this coming." Meanwhile, Dom is driving while his engine starts to sputter. So he drives into like a mechanics, to like a garage to try to fix it. Mm-hmm. Cypher is not happy with that because he thinks like he's trying to break off somewhere. Mm-hmm. So he's like, "Look, I gotta fix it or else we're gonna stop here. Let me fix it." It's like, "Okay, you have 5 minutes." And so like he looks around and he sees all the cameras and he waves and he's like, 5 minutes. He opens up the hood of the car, mm-hmm. which blocks his view from one of the cameras.
Yeah.
So they get him from an ATM camera across the way. Mm-hmm. But then a van pulls up, like a delivery van pulls up, and
blocks the view of Dom.
There's no way they can see him. So Dom uses the cover of this conveniently passing car to go visit a bar, like it's a little bar and restaurant, pub, I guess. And sitting there is a British lady who seems like sick of his shit already. And I was like, oh, that's a nice little British lady. Helen Mirren?
Hey, girl, what up?
Helen Mirren. Multi-time Oscar Award winner Helen Mirren.
Yep.
To go alongside multi-time Oscar Award winner Charlize Theron.
Yep.
So Helen Mirren is here. We don't know who she is. We find out later, and oh boy.
You can probably imply it from the fact
from the British,
the super British and angry accent.
Yeah. So Helen Mirren is super pissed off at Dom for some reason.
She's like, "You've taken everything from me." Like,
yeah, Dom is just like, "Yeah, you're right," but also, and tries to appeal to her like matronly side. He's like, "I got a son, and the first time I ever saw my son, he was behind bulletproof glass. I couldn't even. He reached out for me, and I couldn't do anything. You got it. You have to help. You have to know what to do." So we don't get to see the end of this conversation with Helen Mirren, Oscar award-winning Helen Mirren.
He hands her a Fitbit or something.
Yeah, it's like a big Fitbit, and we don't know why, and it'll be explained in a bit. But he's like, "This is what I need," and we're just like, "Okay." So as the van starts to pull away, they're just like, "We got him. The van's moving. We're gonna see if he's still here." It pulls away, and Dom's still working on the car, and he's just like, "Hi." Nobody knows.
Gets back in the car, and Charlize Theron is none the wiser.
Yes. Hobbs and Shaw do some bro bonding while building cars like men, and then eventually threaten to fight each other again.
Yeah, because men.
Men.
Turns out, what was it? Shaw was captain of the Royal all the things.
Yeah.
And was the greatest soldier to ever soldier. And then he got framed, I guess, or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. So there's that. In New York, we are looking for like some Russian oligarch, some Russian representative for some reason. We know what it is now. It's, he's got the nuclear football. He's got the codes.
He's got the codes. Play the Letterkenny episode about the codes.
Right? And so she's like, okay, he's got the codes. He's in the middle of a big convoy. We need to get rid of that convoy.
Yeah.
And then Dom, you're going to come in and you're going to steal the codes. And he's in like, you know how the president's limo is stocked to shit?
Yeah.
That's basically what this guy is in.
I mean, he would be, right?
Yeah.
He's a diplomat. And with the codes.
Yeah. So like this car is very hard to break into. So what happens now is really cool.
Yes. And I'm amazed that Ford or whoever, because we see the logos of these cars, agreed to this.
Yeah, so what happens? Apparently every car in New York City is a Tesla. Because Cypher hacks in to all the cars. Not just some of the cars. All the cars.
Yeah, if it's got a microchip in it, she hacks it.
Like Watch Dogs.
Yep. The way it was supposed to be.
She hacks into all the cars.
Simultaneously.
And all of them make a beeline autonomously for this convoy. And what follows is Too Fast, Too Furious' scramble on meth.
Yes. Like, this looks like a simulation if you tried to jam every car down the street of New York City. Like, it is a flood. A literal flood of cars.
At one point, just like a ton of cars have to turn a sharp corner. And some of them like crash into the wall and flow out like water.
Yes.
Like a wave hitting the wall. And they all like continue to drive forward. They see this happening, the Russians in the car. And they're just like, that's not normal.
No.
That's coming for us.
Yeah.
Get the guns. And so the guy, apparently there's just a machine gun in this car. Why not?
Why not?
And he just unloads on this
sea
of cars. And so now the car sea is exploding.
Some of those cars have people in them. They established that.
Yeah, well, they're dead now. They're dead people.
I was just like this is a slaughter.
Yeah. So, like, and it's explosion and twisted metal mayhem everywhere. And it doesn't even stop there. Because as they're driving, they get to one of those, like, multi-level parking garages. And Cypher's just like, make it rain. She hits a button, And then cars start careening out of the windows.
And just falling around.
And it begins to rain cars in New York City.
And it, like, follows around the limo.
Yeah.
So it blocks it in, like, just on every angle.
Yeah.
Like, it's locked
It
in.
is an amazing visual.
It is so cool, guys.
And it's
so cool.
It's super cool. And, like, say what you will about this series. Yes, it's ridiculous. It's stupid. It's over the top. But I will be goddamned if you can't say they do, like, super creative stuff with cars.
So cool.
Like, we don't talk... Like, it's not a racing film anymore, really. But they still... Like, it's still surrounding cars. And every time, there's something new and original there. That's super impressive.
I know. It's so great.
So...
Watch that part if you're going to watch any part of the movie.
Yeah, it's about an hour in.
Something like that.
Hour, 10 minutes in.
I think it's like halfway through the movie, yeah.
So at that point, the guy's stuck. He can't move. The Russian can't move. And then in comes...
The Punisher?
Yeah.
I
So
guess.
Dominic comes in with a giant rotating saw in one hand and a riot shield in the other. And he is head to toe in, like...
Riot gear.
riot armor. And he just walks and he, like, knocks people off with the shield and blocks the thing.
Some moron just unloads an entire machine gun right into that shield.
Didn't go well.
It didn't go well. And he's like, oh, no, I'm out. Way to go, asshole.
While all this is happening, obviously the police are talking about it. They're trying to get to it. That's how Team Furious figures out that that's got to be Dom. Who the hell else can it be?
Like, literally, who else could it be?
And so they have this moment where they all get in their cars and they all peel out in a line. And it's all in formation. And all I could think about is, da-na-na-na-na-na-na, go, go, Power Rangers!
Right? I was getting strong Power Ranger vibes through this entire movie.
This is a Power Rangers movie.
It is, and I love it.
If Letty could, like, transform, like, that... It's a Power Rangers movie.
And the Red Ranger has gone rogue.
Yeah!
Let's be for real. Dom's the Red Ranger. It's just
100%. So Dom is trying to hack into the, literally, like, physically hack into the car.
He has a comically large Batman saw.
Yeah. And he's just, like, it's the Russian guy and, like, his aide. And he's like, don't worry, this car is bulletproof. There's no way he's going to get in. But he gets in. He cuts a hole into the gas tank.
Guys.
And, like, the driver's just like, hey, he cut a hole in the gas tank.
And he opens a flare.
Yeah, he sets off a flare, and he doesn't say anything. He just kind of, like, knocks on the door and is like, huh? Briefcase. And so he just, like, slowly hands him the briefcase, and he's like, I'm out. Dom away.
Dom would never stick it in.
What's that?
Dom would never stick that flare in that stupid oil tank.
Oh, probably not, no. So Dom gets into his car and drives away, and Cypher is just like, come on back, we're all done. And he stops, and she's like, what's wrong? And he goes, I think I found my team. And Dominic is now facing 6 of the most pissed off guys in cars
Yep.
you ever did see. The entirety of the Power Rangers are staring daggers at him.
Dom, what did you do?
And so they're just like, don't move, just stay here. He's not going to break through us. He can't. And then Scott Eastwood, like a fucking moron, little nobody, breaks ranks. And obviously Dom is like, got it.
He fakes out. He goes left, he goes right.
Yeah. And then he has to drive through like a flower shop, I think.
Yeah.
Because once again, this movie hates glass.
And the flower shop was made of glass, so, you know, it had to go.
Dominic away. And so they're just like, fuck, chase him.
Damn it, little nobody.
Yeah.
You stupid Brian knockoff.
Yeah. Tej says, now I know what it feels like to be literally every cop chasing us.
Yep. This is it. This is the feeling.
Hobbs is like, we all have to work together because Dom is faster than all of us. Because of course he is.
Of course he is.
But if we all work together, we can contain him. And then we don't have to worry about it. That doesn't work out so hot. Because little nobody is like, I'll get it. Dom drives through, I guess, what would it be? Like, it's a bunch of metal pole, like a scaffolding.
Yeah.
He drives through a scaffolding, and it all kind of tumbles onto little nobody, and he's immobile. It reminds me of, there was a racing game called Need for Speed Most Wanted.
Yeah.
Where you could drive through parts of the architecture, and it would cause stuff to fall and it would knock out your opponents.
Yeah.
That's this movie.
That's true. They all saw that coming except little nobody.
But he's new.
And he's new and he's stupid and he's not Brian.
Yeah. Dom tries to use the NOS system to get away, but Letty is like, he knows all of his tricks, so she does it too. And then she like catches up to him and then shoots a grappling hook into his car.
Movie's fucking awesome, guys.
Yeah, shoots a grappling hook into the car. Tej comes up, does the same thing. They get him cornered in this four-way stop, and they all just shoot hooks into Dom's car. All 5 of them have a different like spot.
This is definitely out of Power Rangers. That's 100% how you wrangle a bad guy.
And then they reverse, immobilizing Dom. He can't move.
Unfortunately, his car has like 5 trillion horsepower.
Yeah, he's got like the great car.
Yeah, he's got the world's best car. Cause of course he does. He's Dom Toretto.
So, at one point, I don't really know how to describe what happens here, but something in Roman's car goes wrong.
Well, what he does is he basically uses centripetal force against them. He stops fighting Roman, so that way he headbutts Roman.
That's right.
And then Roman flips over. So now he's knocked free of Roman. He, if I remember correctly, he basically ejects his door from the rock, and the rock goes fleeing in.
So yeah, he goes backwards and then forwards, running into Roman, knocking Roman's car up and over. He loses the door that the rock is attached to,
which causes the rock to fling back because he wasn't expecting that.
He loses Deckard, and the way Letty and Tej are connected to him, as he drives forward as fast as he can, their 2 cars collide into each other, like an atom smasher.
Yeah,
and just destroy them.
But it also causes Dom's car to flip over.
Yeah, and
everything's boned.
So Dom is on the run. He's on foot. Deckard Shaw chases him on. So he runs, like Deckard kind of chases after him, and Dom stops and he's got a gun. And Dom goes, "You thought this would be a street fight?" And Shaw is just like, "This is ridiculous. You're not going to do this. Let's just go." And he shoots Deckard Shaw
like 3 times.
He straight up shoots him.
And then I was like, I saw Hobbs and Shaw. That can't be right.
Well, yeah, but as far as we know, Shaw's dead.
Yeah.
So he's just like, well, there that is. And Letty sneaks up and grabs the nuclear football.
Yoink.
Yeah, straight up. Just, yep. And he's just like, no, Letty, wait. And she turns a corner and immediately gets sidelined by Connor, this big Viking dude who was on Game of Thrones.
Was he?
Yeah, I just looked it up.
Oh.
And she's just like, you should have let him take it, because I'm not going to chase you.
Well, here's the thing. Dom tried to scare her with a gun, and she was like, bitch, please.
Yeah, you're not going to shoot me, idiot.
You think I'm going to fall for that? You're not going to shoot me.
Yeah. So, the bad guy's just like, I'm going to shoot you. And Dom was like, I'm going to shoot you. Letty, give him the briefcase. Cool. Let's go. And Letty is...
She gives him the briefcase.
Upset, yeah.
Because she just handed over the codes to a bunch of fucking terrorists.
At the hideout, we get the rundown. Dom and Cypher have gone completely cold. There's no location for them whatsoever. Deckard Shaw is dead. And they are no closer to finding out what's going on. At one point, like when he finds out Shaw is dead, The Rock gets up and like angry punches the wall, leaving like a dent into it.
Yeah. Because it was a metal door to prove how strong he was.
Yeah. At Bad Guy HQ, Cypher is pissed that Dom was going to let Letty go. She's like, you made the choice. You were going to let her go. He's like, yeah, I didn't. You have the codes. What do you want? He's like, you've made the choice. Now you must deal with the consequences. And the cell lights up, and she's got Dom's son, like in like a papoose. Yeah. And Elena is bound and gagged onto the chair. And she's like, "You made the wrong choice. Now deal with the consequences." And Connor shoots and kills Elena.
Her last words is "save your son."
Yeah.
All right. Speech time.
Hit it.
Okay. So the problem with a lot of media is we fall into the basically what happened in Hamilton. Women are categorized as the sister, the lover, the wife, or some sort of femme fatale. Or overblown Charlize Theron crazy person because no one knows how to write women. Mm-hmm. So we took a handful of good women, a Mossad female who got reduced down to the love interest of Han, a international police officer that was willing to do anything for the rightful need of justice, down to the mother of your child. We have Charlize Theron giving the worst performance of her career? Question mark? Basically being a registered psycho, clearly written as a man, but playing as a woman because she has to be sexy and seductive because all women are sexy and psychopathic. And who hurt you, my man? And, like, Letty's gotten reduced down. She's not the designated leader. They have no leader. They're just flying by the seat of the pants. And Letty's entire thing is, I know him. He loves me. It can't be true that he's evil. Like, and Ramsey's character is she's a tech wizard and maybe in love with Tej.
Yeah. I will say Letty gets the best treatment out of all of them.
Yeah. But guys, this is bad.
By the way, Hancock. Hancock is Charlize Theron's worst performance.
Is it?
Yeah.
What happened? Was she the woman that Hancock fell in love with? Was she the other?
Yeah,
human?
she was the one that couldn't be too close together.
Oh my god.
Hancock is Charlize Theron's worst
Yeah, I
performance.
forgot she was in that. Okay, I take it back. Her second worst performance?
Yeah, so...
But Hancock was due. That's a whole different thing.
This franchise, it doesn't treat women well.
It does not, and I'm angry and I'm pissed that Elena went out like a bitch. Like, she was a badass. She was a registered badass. She was a police officer who couldn't be bought. That was her entire gimmick. And now she's the mother of your child who died trying because you messed up. And oh my god, how many tropes are we going to hit, guys? All right. That's a different podcast for another day. Hit it.
Okay. So I have here. This is like we get serious acting from Vin Diesel.
Mm-hmm.
Cause he looks sad.
Mm-hmm.
Like he almost gets some cry face going on.
And then Mia's just reduced to a baby making factory. I forgot about that.
Yeah, Mia's no longer even here.
I forgot about Mia.
So, a lot of this movie, like I said, is exposition. It's characters sitting down and explaining verbatim what's happening next. And it causes this movie to drag. It can actually be told in parts. It's almost like levels in a video game.
Mm-hmm.
We stop, we talk, we do the thing. We stop, we talk, we do the thing.
Mm-hmm.
The Rock is still written like an asshole.
Yeah.
They're trying to do this thing where, like, little nobody doesn't really understand the job. And he's, like, kind of stuffy about it and, like, all about the rules. But then Mr. Nobody is, like, don't worry about it so much.
There are no rules.
So, The Rock, still kind of written like an asshole.
Yeah.
He says, because what happens when World War III, if you just close your eyes and pray that the apocalypse doesn't come knocking on your grandmama's front door? Or are you going to saddle up and save the goddamn world? And he's like, you're right, The Rock. And he breaks, like, this, like, break glass in case of emergency thing with a bunch of keys in it.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, everybody can take whatever car they want. Let's do it.
Yeah, he basically was just like, you know what? Fuck it.
Yeah.
Everyone has everything. And, like, Tej and Roman perk up, like, everything?
Yeah.
Everything. I don't care no more.
So, Tej gets the tank.
Mm-hmm.
Chekhov's tank.
Yep.
And...
Roman gets the Lambo.
Roman gets the orange Lamborghini. I think The Rock gets, like, a snowplow thing.
I don't know, but it hauls serious ass.
Yeah, so we're going to Russia. Long story short, they're going to Russia. There is a nuclear submarine there. We're gonna hack the sub, steal it, and use it to fire off nukes just to prove how great Cypher is. She has a reason for it. It's boring and I don't care.
It's boring and I don't care, and they clearly wrote it for a man, and okay, let's keep going.
So, yeah, this is the main event of the film. Everybody can take whatever car they want. Nothing makes sense. Let's do this. While in Russia, we have this moment. It's cold, obviously, so we have like this Hoth winter base.
Mm-hmm.
And Hobbs is like, hey, if it comes down to it, I will kill Dom.
Mm-hmm,
and Letty's like, you'll have to kill us both. And he's like, that's not a problem for me. Well, he doesn't say that, but he has a look on his face like, okay.
Okay. Weirdo.
So in comes...
I am accommodating, but okay.
Yeah, I guess that's what you want. In comes Dom with his charger, an EMP on the back. He gets up to the base, boosts charges the EMP, blows it up, and gets in. All the doors open up. Sure, why not? Drives in, and he's like, okay, now this is one of those EMPs that works twice.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to charge it up again. You're going to get under the sub. The sub is like suspended a little bit, so you can drive under it.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get under the sub. You're going to blow the thing again. And that's going to let us hack it for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. Because this is the Fast and Furious franchise, all of the cars are bulletproof.
Every single one of them.
So that works out well for Dom. So Dom blows it the second time. The sub goes dark, and he also takes out a helicopter. 2 for 1.
Yeah.
Great. So Team Furious are just kind of standing watching this happen.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And Ramsey's like, okay, she's hacking into the sub right now. I don't know how. This is not really explained.
Yeah.
But she's hacking into the sub right now.
Technobabble.
If I can get up to the computer base here, I can counter-hack her. Sure.
Why not?
And basically stop her. And Tej is like, that's great and all, but we need to get me into the weapons bay of that sub so I can take out the guidance chips on those nuclear missiles. The missiles won't fire at all. She can take the sub all she wants. And they were just like, let's do my thing. No, let's do my thing. Let's do my thing. Let's do my thing. And Hobbs is like, we're going to do both.
Because why not?
Why not? So they all get into their Power Rangers cars. This reminds me so much of Power Rangers Turbo.
Yeah, I miss that show.
Like,
it was a good show.
Power Rangers Turbo, they all had cars. The cars were their Zords. That's what this is. I know I've said it, but wow.
But it's great. Feminist rage aside, we're back on track, people.
Yeah. So Hobbs and Letty provide cover fire, so the team can go in where they need to. Mm-hmm. Ramsey gets in and successfully severs the link to the sub. So we have a hack off between Cypher and Ramsey.
Because women aren't allowed in combat roles.
Well, I think this is interesting because A, it gives Ramsey something to do.
That's true.
And Cypher does something, but it's a lot of just like, I did it. She got it. I did it again.
Oh, she's so smart.
Yeah, and Cypher's just like, now you're pissing me off. Mm-hmm. Stuff like that. So it's not great. Meanwhile, Letty is kicking ass.
Yeah. Thanks, Letty.
Letty, she's basically, it's that mission where you have to keep all the bad guys back while the nerd does the nerd thing.
Yeah.
And she's like, she runs out of ammo. Mm-hmm. So she uses her gun as a club.
Fucking love Letty.
And just takes out a motherfucker.
Because women are allowed in combat roles.
And like at one point, like she stabs somebody in the thigh. This is what Michelle Rodriguez is best at.
Yeah.
The rock hits yet another rock bottom on a guy onto a steel guardrail.
Yep. Because he only knows like 4 moves.
Yeah.
He's like a Pokemon. He knows 4 basic moves.
Yeah. Roman, Little Nobody, and Tej get into the armory. But Roman and Mr. Nobody get into the actual room, and Tej is locked out.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because Tej is the only one who knows what they're doing.
Why didn't you throw Tej in first?
The door shut quick,
I'm just saying, like, you stay behind Tej.
Yeah. Letty kicks a Russian guy in the dick, and then drop kicks him off the ship into a turbine?
Yeah.
Blood sprays everywhere, and I think that's the most blood we've ever seen in one of these movies.
Yeah.
Like, it's straight up a blood spray onto the...
And The Rock just looks over the bow like, ew.
Yeah. The Rock literally comes up and goes, yeesh.
And I'm just like, yikes. But also, good for Letty. Women, more combat roles. Gal Gadot, we did you dirty.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Dom's job's done. There's nothing else he can do.
Yeah.
So Cypher is like, don't come home yet. Pick up Connor. And you guys are going to go to a place. Cypher, who's pretty sick of all this hacking shit, is like, you fuck it. I'm going to launch a missile now. What are you going to do about it? Launching a nuke. And so they see it, and Roman's like, what's going on? I don't understand. And Tej is like, we're about to launch a nuke because what's going on? They can't understand anything in the weapons bay because it's all in Russian.
Whoops.
But Tej realizes there's a countdown. Countdown's not going to be in Russian. Find that. That's where you'll find the thingy. Mm-hmm. So naturally, we find it out at the very last millisecond.
Yeah.
The launch is aborted.
And then no nukes for Charlize Theron.
Yeah. So they bail out of the sub, and they're just like, we did it. She doesn't have that anymore. Mm-hmm. She's just gonna hack the sub and take it with her.
Yes.
We have to stop that. Mm-hmm. So everybody get into your Power Ranger cars.
Go Power Ranger.
It's like, if she gets it to a certain point in the ocean, she will get it so deep we'll never be able to find it. We have to stop her before that.
Oh, yeah.
So everybody gets into their cars, and we drive out onto the ice.
To the ice. Luckily, it's very thick ice. Sort of.
It's very thick, and Roman, because he's in the orange Lamborghini, can't grip anything.
Because Lamborghinis are built for roads.
Yeah, so he's spinning around a lot. Obviously they get chased by bad guys, and so they start getting shot at. Everybody starts shooting at Roman.
Yeah.
And Roman goes, why are they all shooting at me? And Tej goes, maybe it's because you're in an orange Lamborghini. And that is the most Fast and the Furious sentence ever said. That's the movie. If anybody asks you what the essence of Fast and the Furious, it's that. Why are people shooting at me? Because you're in an orange Lamborghini. Tej uses the tank to shoot out pursuing vehicles to give them some time. Mm-hmm. Then at some point, guys in snowmobiles show up.
Yep.
Like, they ramp up, kind of like motorcycles, I guess.
Yeah.
And they ramp through the ice and start chasing.
They spawned from somewhere. I don't know.
And they're just like, we got snowmobiles. And The Rock goes, no, we don't. And just plows into them, knocking them over like bowling pins. Down they go. Thanks, Rocky. So at one point, the bad guys have like an anti-air car, like a car with missiles attached to it. And so they start shooting at them, but they keep hitting the ice, which causes the ice to fracture, causing big holes in the ice. Mm-hmm. And so Roman, I guess, because he's bad at stuff.
Yeah. Look, all his skills are in charisma and social skills.
Yeah.
His driving skills is good, but he failed the check.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So he's in trouble, basically.
Yeah, he's got one set of tires in the ice.
Yeah. And Tej, even though they fucking hate each other, they love each other. So Tej is like, hold on, I got an idea. And he shoots a tether into his door, like a harpoon into the door.
Yeah. Because we can solve anything with harpoons.
Yeah. And Roman's like, what are you doing? He goes, just trust me on this. And Roman starts to sink. He goes into the water.
Yep.
Remember, this is $1 million car. He goes into the water. And you can hear him over the radio going, yeah, it's cold. I can't breathe. He's like, yo, wait for it. Roman hits a button. Or Tej hits a button. And out comes the door. And attached to it, skiing on the outside, is Roman. Is holding onto that thing for dear life.
Yes.
And he's just holding on to it as they're driving hundreds of miles an hour. And he's holding on to it like he's like skiing, like water skiing.
Yes, true. Yeah. It's great, guys.
Eventually, the cord gives way. Mm-hmm. And so Roman can stand up. And he's like, you know what? I'm sick of this shit. And the snowmobile guys are coming after him. He picks up the door and he knocks one of them off the thing with the car door. He picks up his gun and shoots the other three guys dead in one with one bullet each. And then he looks at that and he goes, "Number 11, my ass."
To his credit, he's right.
Which is the most badass moment he's ever had.
To his credit, yeah. We need to knock somebody off that list. Jesus.
Yeah, right? So we find out basically what Dom and Connor are doing. Connor is going to kill the team long distance. He's got a big old scope. He's got a big old sniper rifle.
Yeah, because he's an asshole.
And he's like, hey, I don't want this to be like awkward between us. Which one do you want me to do first? And Dom is like, when I hit somebody, I don't do it from long distance. I do it face to face. He goes, right, wife, gotcha.
Because he's an asshole.
Meanwhile, this is out of nowhere. Some guys in flight suits show up.
Yeah, so we called the Falcon.
Yeah, it literally looks like the Falcon from Captain America.
Yeah, like they too saw the Marvel movies and went, we could do that too.
Two guys fly. They fly
in Falcon suits.
They fly up towards Cypher's big cargo plane.
Yeah,
and they get into it, and they kind of like walk. Yeah, they walk in and they get into cover. They take off their helmets, and it's Deckard Shaw. Not only is it Deckard Shaw, it's Owen Shaw.
This motherfucker.
They're both still alive. And Owen says, oh, I'm going to enjoy this. And Deckard says, don't get too ahead of yourself. You got a bad history with planes. And he stops and he looks out the window and he goes, yeah, I do. So, what? Flashback.
Yep.
We go back to Dom's discussion with Helen Mirren.
Here, take this Fitbit.
Yeah, she goes, here, take this Fitbit. And we cut to Jason Statham getting an adrenaline shot to the heart. That had to feel familiar. And he does like the wake up thing from Crank. Oh, and he wakes up and Helen Mirren's sitting beside him. And he goes, Mom, you're not supposed to hit the nerves. And she goes, oh, sack up. You're better than that. Helen Mirren is Deckard Shaw's mom.
Which you can kind of guess.
You probably guessed it. Magdalena Shaw is her name. Okay. We got to go back. The person, Dom shot him.
Yeah.
And the guy who like swarmed around him weren't just like any kind of guys. They were, oh God, what are their names?
Santos and what's his name?
Yeah, Santos and Rico?
They're bad guys.
Yeah. They're out of nowhere. And they're just like, hey, what's up? We got him. And like, they got him into the thing. So Dom is basically like, hey, I need your help to get your son's help. And if we can make this work, I'll owe you guys. Oh, and that guy, that random van that popped up just to like block the camera conveniently wasn't random. It was the guy who Dom gave his car back at the beginning of the film.
Yeah. Hey, what up, buddy?
This is that was layered.
When did Dom get smart?
Yeah.
Wasn't the game plan previously drive off a cliff? When did Dom get this smart?
Good question. So we cut back to Helen Mirren Magdalena and Shaw in the car, and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna do this for Dom." She goes, "That's great. Take your brother with you." He goes, "Oh, Mom."
No, Mom, no. She's like, "Yes, our family."
Yeah, you can't turn back on your family. And she starts to cry. It's like, you've gotten me so upset, and I can't believe this. He's your brother. You have to do this. You have to get together. I don't care if he's betrayed us. He's still family. And he's like, all right, Mom, I'm sorry. And she stops crying immediately. She's like, great.
And he's like, every goddamn time.
Yeah.
So it turns out Deckard Shaw his weakness is his mother's crying.
I get that. So Owen Shaw gets into the plane. This is Cypher's plane. Gets into the cockpit. And is basically like, hey, boys, you're going to take me where I want to go. While Deckard calls Dom. And he's like, package secure. And the package, of course, is Dom's son. Yeah,
because it turns out when you have both Shaw brothers, that's enough to fix the dead man lock.
Yeah. This is my favorite part of the movie. So basically what happens is Dom, like the Connor goes to shoot Letty.
Yeah.
And Dom fucks up a shot. And he's like, you messed up my shot. What are you doing? And he goes, I'm coming to you face to face. Boom! Punches him in the face and knocks him out. And he goes, that one's for Elena. And then...
I thought he broke his neck.
Did he break his neck?
Well, he picks him up by the throat, throws him on...
Yeah, he choke bombs him. And then I guess he would have broken his neck. He's dead.
And I thought that was way too quick a death for killing our girl.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to see him rip his arms off and beat him with his arms.
Yeah, well, technically that's got to go to Cypher. So Cypher calls, and she's like, "Congratulations, Dom. You just killed your son." And he's like, "No, I just saved my son. Watch this shit." So Deckard is with the baby, and he's like, "All right, governor," because he's got that like Cockney accent. He goes, "This is gonna get kind of loud, so here you go." And he slips on some headphones.
Yeah.
And he starts playing the Chipmunks album.
Yeah.
Me, I want a hula.
And he's like, "How's the music? Is it good?" And the baby gives him a smile like, "Yeah, it's really good."
That was awesome. Jason Statham then kills an entire plane of people while holding a child.
And it's great. Like, they got the baby to emote, so it was really cool. And he's like, "Hey, how's the music?" And the baby's like, "Okay."
So he tears through this plane, popping people off one at a time, ducking people. He like kicks the baby out of the way, so he like slides to safety. And he's like, "1 second, shh, pop, pop, pop." Jason, this series is God's gift to us.
I know. And then the last guy tries to shoot the baby.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Trying to kill the baby? That's low. That's really low.
That's low even for you."
And then he's just like, "You don't want to see this." And he moves the baby.
He turns the baby around
away so the baby could not see it. And he like kills the guy.
I've always known this, but this is the movie that reignites my love for Jason Statham.
I know.
He's not a great actor,
which we can say about everybody in this movie,
but he is a very entertaining actor.
So entertaining.
Very rarely is there a movie like when you let Jason Statham go. Mm-hmm. He's great. Like Crank is amazing. It's stupid, but it's amazing.
Stupid, but he's really good in this is stupid but amazing kind of movies.
Or even like if you take a movie like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, or Snatch. I love Snatch.
Then it occurred to him that he took the death of his brother way too well.
A little too well. Now we're fucked. Protection from who? The Germans. It's like he's amazing, and I like seeing him places. Yeah, especially like this.
I particularly like at the end. He's got the baby in the little bassinet, and he smells something like, "Is that him or you?" And the baby looks at the dead body, and he's like, "It is him."
Good.
Like the baby threw the dead body under the bus.
So, Jesus.
You go, little Marco. You go.
Yeah, right now the baby's middle name is Marco. I keep calling him the baby because Elena didn't want to give him a first name, gave him a middle name. It's Marco Toretto. So Dom is gonna give him a first name at some point, we imagine.
Yeah. Where are these hospitals where they can just let you go with an unnamed baby?
That happens a lot, eh? So meanwhile, back on Team Furious, they got missiles now.
Yep.
So they're just like, they're shooting missiles at us. What do we do? And so Roman is with The Rock at this point. That's funny because Roman. Anyway. So he's like, here's what we're gonna do. I got basically a shield, this little plow thing. You guys are all gonna line up in front of us, and we're gonna take the hit. And Roman's like, I gotta take another car. So they do that. They all line up. They take the first hit. It blows up. They're okay, but they can't take another hit. And so they're just like, what do we do? We're out of tricks. And the Rock's just like, we're just gonna feel this one. And so it's just like, here we go. And the missiles start to fire off. And who saves the day but Dominic goddamn Toretto out of nowhere with the Charger. And just careens into the car, saving our ass. He actually knocks, as they fire the missile, he knocks into the car and the missiles shoot the other cars. Because of course they do.
Are we gonna just gloss over the fact that The Rock straight up kicked a missile into a dude?
Yeah. That's where we're gonna get there. So at this point, Cypher is just beside herself. She lost Dom, she lost the baby, she lost everything. They got no nukes. They don't have they got the sub. That's all she's got. And so she's like, I'm tired of this. I'm going to kill everyone. So she surfaces the sub, and it cracks through the ice in this gigantic like a kraken,
like
just
a whale or
giant kaiju, just comes up through the ice, flips every car on top of it. It was all the bad guys. Great idea, dumbass. It was all of her team. They all get flipped up in the air, and we're just like, holy shit. And she fires a torpedo. The first torpedo misses, or it hits the bad guy. It doesn't hit us.
Yeah.
And she fires another one that actually skirts onto the ice, and it's headed straight for Letty. So The Rock is like, I got a plan. He goes, take the wheel. And Roman doesn't want to, but he does anyway.
Yeah.
So The Rock opens the door, jumps out, holding onto the door for stability, and skating on the ice while they're driving at fucking 120 miles an hour. He bends down and just twists the torpedo with his bare goddamn hands. And just, like, twists it into a bad guy.
Yeah, he just straight up curls the torpedo into a bad guy.
And destroys that car. So, okay. Okay, at some point, Letty and Ramsey are in a car together. And the sub sinks, and it rises up again, and it's just coming through the ice. Just like
a final boss battle.
Yeah, like a whale would like come up and like for air. And so it goes back down again and it comes up again. And Letty and Ramsey kind of get caught in the ice crossfire. They're not tipping over, but if they slow down even a little bit, they're screwed. So Letty's just like, we're in trouble. I have one idea. She hits a button on her car, on her steering wheel, like Speed Racer.
Go Speed Racer.
And she has like a spring in her car, and it springs her up and out like this is fucking Mario Kart.
Why would she have that in any other situation?
It's never explained, but she has it.
Why would Tej install that in her car? You know Tej installed it.
Yeah.
And then he would be like, but why? And she's just like, I don't know, but I'm gonna need it.
Yeah. So she's safe-ish, as safe as you can be.
Yeah.
So Cypher is beside herself. She's like, fuck it all. Heat-seeking missile, and it's coming straight for Dom. So out comes a heat-seeking missile, and The Rock is like, that's a heat-seeking missile. There's nothing we can do to duck that. And Vin is like, here's what we'll do. Split off. And he lights his car on fire. He's got like
He's got NOS
or something. Anyway, he lights his car on fire. That causes the heat-seeking missile to follow him and him only. And he, at one point, like Tony Hawk, he drives up a snow ramp and then comes back down. And the missile follows him up and follows him down. I'm making like crazy gesticulations. Like, our show's becoming a lot more visual. So, okay.
And it cracks into the submarine.
Yeah, so it's following Dom. The submarine is going along at a pace. And as it's crushing through the ice, it's creating like little ramps. So you see where this is going. Dom drives off. Dom drives off of the ice ramp, at just the perfect time for the missile to clip into the top of the nuclear sub. And blow it to pieces.
Blow it to goddamn smithereens.
Twice. So it blows it up the first time, fucks Dom's car up. Dom bails out, and this is only the third time he's driven a flaming fucking car. And like he gets out and kind of skids on the ice. And they're just like, oh, okay, well that's done. And then the sub blows up again.
Yeah.
Like I guess the munitions in the sub, not the nuclear part, but something. Anyway, it blows up twice.
Yeah.
And it's much bigger. And Dom is fucked. Like he's gonna take this. And there's a moment, and I honestly think it's a really nice moment, where he's looking, he's just like, oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, and there is a wall of fire coming right for Dom.
And as it's about to hit him, everybody on Team Furious drives in front of him and use their cars as a shield to block the blast. The cars take the brunt of it. Dom is safe. I don't know if that would happen in real life.
I'm pretty sure it would bake them like a potato in there.
Yeah, I don't care. This is a Power Rangers movie.
This is true. This is a Power Rangers move. They use the Megazord to protect.
Yeah, it's really cool. Because like they all swarm in and they save him. I was just like, oh,
that's the power of friendship.
I didn't see that one coming.
That's what I'm looking for, people.
Okay, so Deckard is still on the plane. He's got the baby. And he's coming for Cypher, and he like kicks down the door and he's like, "Hello, I'm here to the murder." And Cypher's like, "Hey, how's it going? First of all, how did you guys get here? Like, how did you even know I was here?" And he goes, "Oh, it's easy." And he takes out Dom's cross necklace, which Dom left with his son on the jail cell. And on it is a little tracking dot. And she's like, oh, that is incredibly annoying. Anyway.
I did not think he was smart enough to make one of those.
Yeah. I'm going to go. And he's like, no, I'm going to kill you. He goes, no, you're not, because I have the only parachute. Later, asshole! And she jumps out with the parachute, leaves the door open. And the baby, like, he put the baby on the ground, because when you shoot somebody, you don't want to carry a baby. And he, like, starts to slide out the door. And so Deckard kind of, like, slides in and saves him, because he's a badass.
And closes the damn door, and Charlize Theron gets away!
Charlize Theron gets away. Owen tells the pilots to land. Dom apologizes to Letty for the whole thing.
Yeah.
And they embrace in the middle of the ice. And they're just like, guys, we gotta go. Because there's like a whole lot of nuclear shit below us right now. Mm-hmm. And also the bad guys coming. That's never explained.
And they were just like, well, we have the codes to the nukes, so there's no nukes. And so it was just like, well, that's half our problem solved.
Yeah, done and done.
So I'll take a selfie.
Yeah. So we go to the wrap-up party.
Yeah, and I was really confused at this point. Like, we're just gonna...
It's literally that fast. There's no transition scene.
We're not... That's it. That's it. We're just gonna let her get away.
We're on a rooftop, I believe, of a New York apartment building. Having a barbecue. Everybody's chilling out.
All right.
Tez and Roman are still kind of hitting on Ramsey. I didn't realize Roman was still into her. I thought it was Tej and her. That was kind of the big thing.
Yeah.
And Tej and Roman are just like, hey, so girl, how you living? Mm-hmm. I think it's time. You got to pick one of us. Mm-hmm. Like, who do you like? And Ramsey's like, I like both of you. And they're like, hell yeah, she does. What up, bro? It's like, here's the thing. Before we get into all of this, you guys need to answer me a question. What's my last name?
And which I went, Ramsey's your first name?
Yeah. And they're just like, he goes, when you figure out my last name, that's who I'll go with. And Ted's just like, it's gonna be Parker. That's what it's, how's that?
Hey, Mrs. Parker. Yeah. Hey.
So,
which was kind of smooth.
I liked it. That was slick. Mr. Nobody shows up to the party and hangs out with Hobbs. And he's like, hey, so good news, bad news. Cypher's still on the loose. We think she's somewhere in Athens.
Ugh.
But she's not going to nuke anything for a while, so whatever.
Does she still have God's Eye, or did we get that back with the plane?
I believe she still has God's Eye.
Guys.
Yeah. And so they're like, oh, we brought you a little present to Hobbs. Hobbs' daughter is still here, too. Mm-hmm. And it's his gun and badge. And he's like, you are fully reinstated if you want it. Mm-hmm. And Hobbs is like, if I want it? And he's like, yeah, if you want it, your job is fully reinstated. And he goes, you know what? No.
Pass.
I've been working this job for 16 years. I want to spend some time with my daughter. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's nice. Even Deckard Shaw shows up.
With the baby.
Because, like, Dom's sitting there, and Letty's like, he's going to be here. It's going to be okay. And he's just like, he's so nervous. Mm. And Deckard Shaw shows up. We got over that kill at Han thing real easy.
He killed Han, guys! Han was family!
And so he gives him his kid, and he's just like, yeah, that's what a crazy adventure we've been on.
Good.
And then he goes, I can't believe you went to see my mother.
I can't believe you killed Han!
Yeah. Dom picks up his son, and they kind of talk to the spirit of Elena. Mm-hmm. Just be like, I told you I was going to take care of him, and now we will. Mm. Dom introduces Letty to her new son, I guess.
Yeah, I guess Letty's now his mom. We're just going to blow past the fact that baby no longer is ever going to know his biological mother.
Yeah.
That he's going to have separation anxiety for a long time in his life.
Yeah. So Dom, kind of holding his son, he kind of introduces everybody to the baby, and he's like, I've always said, you've heard me say, there's nothing more important than family. Family never turns its back on each other, and I want to thank you guys for never turning your back on me. And he goes, now, and he's talking to his son. He goes, do you want to meet everybody? And the baby's just like, I couldn't care less. And he's like, all right, we'll meet everybody. He goes, ladies and gentlemen, it's your new family. He goes, I want you guys to meet Brian.
Aww.
Dom named his son Brian.
It's gonna get really confusing in the family tree.
The team is back together. We are no longer at the mercy of a nuclear war. Dom is not a bad guy anymore, and he and Letty can finally start the family that they've always wanted. Everybody's together. Everybody's happy. Curtain down. Oh boy, that was a lot.
I have a lot of thoughts and feelings about this movie.
This one is dense. It's complicated. This is the first movie that I thought needed to be as long as it was.
Yeah, that's true.
Um,
I mean, we could squeeze a trilogy out of this movie if we tried really hard.
yeah,
and
it was a quick 2 hours. 2 hours 8 minutes.
Yeah.
But I don't like it as much as I like 7.
No?
No. I like 7 better. I think because this one had so much exposition, like I said.
Yeah, fuck all really happens in the first hour of this movie.
Yeah. You can kind of get rid of the first hour. It steps it up, obviously.
Yep.
These movies are always insane. They're always fun to watch. But this one really, like, it throws a lot at you.
Yeah.
You kind of need to kind of keep your brain trained for this one. I think I would give it a 6.5.
Really?
I think so.
I was gonna give it an 8.
An 8, really?
Dude, there was a submarine, there was a wrecking ball, we were raining cars from the sky.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like, I love how over the top it is. That's it. That's the shit I'm here for.
Yeah.
I am here for crazy. And we saved the world by being street racers, guys.
Hell yeah, we did.
It definitely lost points due to feminist rage.
So you liked it more than you like 7?
It's a heist movie. No, wait, 6 is the heist movie. Which one's the heist movie?
5.
5's the heist movie.
Yeah.
That's the one I really liked.
Yeah.
Do I like heists more than I like cars raining from the sky? I don't know.
Apparently, like this one's an 8. Yeah,
Maybe it's a 7 because feminist rage, but also heists.
You can give a poorly feminist movie a high score. It's okay. Do you want to stick at an 8?
Maybe, like, I need a minute because, like, guys, it rained cars. There was a submarine. There was an EMP bomb. There was a real good mystery, and now we got us a baby. You know. We all stuck to our guns on this one. Santos and the other guy came back.
Yeah.
It was real good, guys.
Yeah.
It was really good. And then feminist rage. But also,
I think we've definitely set up. So 9 and 10 are the finale.
yeah.
We're definitely coming into the end game now.
Mm-hmm.
You can kind of feel it.
And then we can go to phase 4, I guess.
Yeah, we go to the Fast and Furious Phase 4. I think that's where Mephisto shows up.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see where it goes from here. Like, I've seen parts of the trailer. John Cena's in it, and he's mad at Dom because he's his brother cousin.
Or is John Cena related to Dom this time?
Yeah.
How many people are fucking related to Dom?
Yeah, I don't know. Dude loves family. So I have no idea. Helen Mirren's in it.
Yay!
Always nice to see.
Hey, Alan Mirren. What up, girl?
But yeah, so that is, as of right now, the final film in the main series.
That's true.
But it isn't the final time we will be in this universe, because next week we are going to do the spin-off movie. And boy, if you weren't annoyed by Hobbs and Shaw's bickering back and forth this movie, you're going to get real fucking sick of it next time.
Yeah.
Because that's all it is. As we go on to Fast and Furious Presents Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah, because the only person who still has head on their shoulders is Hobbs, who remembers that Shaw murdered Han.
I haven't seen that movie since we saw it in theaters, since it came out.
It was so fun.
I remember it's a lot of fun, but now that I know the backstory of everything,
How we got here.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like we watched the season finale first.
Yeah. So that's why they hate each other.
Yeah, that makes sense. I get that now.
Oh.
So next week we will take on Wild Speed Super Combo. And I'm excited for that. And then next week we will announce our next series.
Super combo, guys.
It won't be as fun as Super Combo, I imagine. But if you have any suggestions of a series you want to see, let us know. Let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
We will take everything into consideration. Or if you want to guarantee we will take your suggestion,
Yeah.
you can donate $100 to the Patreon.
Oh, we have tiers now?
Yeah. Oh, we've always had tiers.
Oh, okay.
You can donate $100 to the Patreon, and it will guarantee us doing whatever movie you like. Single movie. Whatever movie you like, we will guarantee to do it, as long as it's not real fucking weird.
As long as there's not trauma involved.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's that. If you want some of that, patreon.com/emptysquare, EMPTYSQUARE. We would deeply love that.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason,
Yeah.
our last couple of episodes have done really well.
'Cause we're rad, cutes.
All right, well, yeah. Yeah, so for some reason, our views have shot up. If you're new, what up? Thank you very much for joining us. We're almost at 100 subscribers.
We really appreciate every single one of you that are here.
Yeah, you guys are brilliant. We love you. But yeah, so that's kind of where we're at.
Come leave a comment. Go and leave a review. Use the word super combo and you'll just have me laughing for fucking days. You want to
Super
hear
combo.
my long essay on feminist rage in movies? Like, leave some money and I will tell you.
You don't even have to leave money. We'll just do it.
Yeah, that's true. Just give me an excuse and I will go on a Lindsay Ellis style rant.
Don't threaten me with a good time. But if you want to catch us somewhere else on the internet, I am over on Twitter at EmptySquare, EMPTYSQUARE. Cutes.
I am at Aquadia_ at me, and you want to read some rage? There it is.
Yes, you got that. If you want to check us out on TikTok, I'm doing that now.
That's true.
It gets real esoteric. I am at Brightwall Pod on TikTok. And we're doing a little ARG kind of
Come hang out with us. Have fun.
where we're doing stuff like that. If like I said, we already talked about the Patreon, but you get more than just that for literally any money.
Yes.
Any money. Doesn't even have to be a lot of money. For $1, you get shit.
Yeah.
Um,
You get a lot of stuff, is what we're trying to say
yeah,
here.
you get early access to podcasts. You get
Live streams.
live streams, just your own private live streams. Not specifically for you, but yeah, we could if you're the only person who shows up. We've had that before.
Yeah.
If you got questions, it is a direct line to us. You got questions, we got answers, and because you pay us, we physically have to do it.
You want me to go on a feminist rant about Hamilton? I'll do it.
Yeah. So you can do that. That's patreon.com/EmptySquare, EMPTYSQUARE. And I think
Yeah, for like just $1, you get a bunch of stuff. It's a great deal.
Yeah.
Come out, come play.
and like we said a little bit ago, if we get to $3,000 a month, God help us,
God help us.
I
Yeah.
will do the Hot Ones gauntlet
Yeah.
where I will probably die. I'll die on camera. So you'll only have to pay $3,000 for a little bit. So I will die on camera. That's gonna be a thing. Mm-hmm. I will do the whole Q&A thing. Oh boy, God help us. But yeah, I think that's that. Mm-hmm. Unless there's anything else. Any new business?
No, that's another podcast.
That's another podcast. We will see you next week. We will take on Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah.
Pray for us.
This one's fun.
Yeah.
Guys, it's so fun.
All right, bye.
Bye. Okay, I love you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I love you. Bye bye.